In this video, I will show you how to create this really cool Apple map animation. I already did something like this before, but I wanted to take it to a next level. So I added clouds, a super zoom, and also this funny alien. Now I will show you exactly how to make this, so let's jump into it. So let's start out with the files. I have some screenshots and basically you want to have 3 zoom levels. One that's zoomed out, one that's more zoomed in, and then even more zoomed in. And this will all make sense in a bit. Now, if you want to, you can even use Photoshop or any other photo editing tool and basically cleaning it up a bit by making it a bit more minimalistic. You don't have to do this, but you can. And as you can see, it does make it look a bit nicer without all the labels. Now, once you have these files, we can open up After Effects. And I'm just going to create a new composition. I'm going to make it 4K 25 frames per second, press OK. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a background. Now you can do any background you want, but I want to make it look a bit nicer. So I'm going to go to Layer, New, Solid, and I'm just going to press OK. And then I'm going to add a 4 color gradient, just add that to it. Then I'm going to go to Ellipse and I'm going to fill this with maybe like a bluish color, something like this. Press OK. Let's drag this out, something like this. This doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to customize it anyway. I'm going to add a turbulent displace to this, increase the size and increase the amount. Let's move this a bit. And then I'm going to add a fast box blur. Make sure the repeat edge pixels is off and the blur radius is set to 1000, or maybe a bit less, 700. This will just add a touch of color. And then to animate it, I'm just going to hold Alt, click on evolution, type in time times 100, and then as you can see it will move. Cool. Let's turn the fast box blur back on, and I'm gonna maybe turn this to even a bit lower, and then I'll just turn down the opacity. So press T for transparency, and let's dial this down, and you will see you will get this cool movement, a bit of an organic shape. I think it looks really dope. You can also add another one of these, so just duplicating it and like moving it maybe a bit here. And then we can even go to Layer, New, Adjustment Layer, and quickly add some noise to this. Turn the use color noise off, and then maybe 10%. And if we now set it to full, you will see that it will add a bit of texture to it. I think that makes it look really clean. Again, you can also use a white background, but I think it's just a nice touch. It just adds some spice. So what we can do now is import our elements. So we have the screenshots, we have the alien, and we have the clouds. Let's open that. I'm going to turn off these layers quickly. That will make everything a bit quicker. Now let's start with the maps. I'm just going to drag all of these in. There we go. And then we want the order to be from small to large. So first this one, as you can see, this is the most zoomed in version. Then we want the medium zoom and then fully zoomed out. I'm going to press S for scale. I'm going to scale it up a bit so we have a bit more room to play with. Select fit up to 100% so I can show you guys a bit of a better view. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay them. So I'm going to turn back the medium one on. I'm going to press S for scale and I'm going to scale it down and see if I can overlay it. And we might have to zoom in a bit. Now this won't have to be perfect. We're going to make sure that we'll hide our mistakes basically later on. So let's scale this a bit more, and what you can even do is press T for transparency and dial down the opacity a bit so we can really fully align it well. And I actually think something like this will work. So press T for transparency again, set it on, and as you can see it's not perfect, but we'll fix that later on. Now we can turn the next one on, and as you can see this will be way too zoomed in. And to fix that I'm going to press S for scale, and I'm going to scale this down first by a lot. And now comes the trick. I'm going to link these to each other. So let's just select the top two, and I'm going to parent this one by dragging it from the pick whip tool to the most zoomed out version. There we go. And I'm going to press S for scale, and I'm going to set a keyframe. I'm going to drag this out to the left because we need to use that later on. Let's go a bit more to the right, and now let's scale it up. And now we can just scale it in till we have a bit of a better view of the other one. Let's see, something like this. Now select the smallest or the most zoomed in version, and let's see if we can align this somehow. Now it would actually be smart if I would recognize it, which I don't. Let's see. I see it. I think it's around here. Cool. So let's scale this down again. Press S for scale. Let's see if we can align this. It's like around here-ish. Let's press T for transparency. And let's see. Yeah, it needs to be a bit more up, maybe a bit more scaled. Yeah, if we turn this on and off, as you can see, those trees are not in the other image, but that's fine. And now we can zoom even more in. Now, as you might notice, this is our like piece that we want to zoom in, and we're already zoomed in a lot. And we want to center this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the pen behind tool, and I'm going to select our zoomed out image, and I'm going to drag this. So basically you have sort of like a center point where we want to have it centered. I'm going to go to the selection tool and I'm going to center this a bit more. And we're getting somewhere. I think if we keep it something like this, it should work. Maybe scale it up a bit more. And when you hold shift, you really need to hold shift now to make it zoom in, and that's perfect. Now, if we go through this, as you can see, we have our super zoom already, which is really dope. And now you might think I can still see the borders. Well, we're gonna fix that. Because as you can see, this looks really, really ugly. Now, there's already a quick fix. If you turn on motion blur, that will already mask your mistakes. However, if you want to, you can even add a mask to this image to basically feather the image a bit. So if we turn off the motion blur, and for example, we select the middle one, you need to go to the rectangle tool, double click on the rectangle. That will create a mask, the same shape as your image. And then we can just go to F for feather and feather it. And by feathering it, it will blend it a bit more. We can even go into the mask and change the expansion a bit. This will basically cut off the image a bit. And as you can see, that will also blend the image even better. Now, again, with the motion blur enabled, you shouldn't really be able to see that much anyway. However, it's still nice, especially at the end, we want to enable that too. So again, I'm just going to double click on the mask, press F for feather, maybe set it to 100, open the mask, and then just change the expansion a bit so we can make it blend in. Very nice. Now let's press U on our keyboard, select these keyframes, then right click Keyframe Assistant Easy Ease or hit F9 on your keyboard. And then we can go into the graph editor and we can make it a bit more smooth. So the zoom is quite crazy now. Let's set this to quarter, quickly preview it. So I might just drag this out a bit, something like this. And we already have this really cool animation now. It's super smooth, as you can see. I'm really happy with this. And now here comes the fun part. Let's add the clouds and the alien. We can make this 3D, but we don't have to. We can just drag in these clouds that we have here. We can scale them up a bit, press P for position, set a keyframe, and we can link this one to our zoomed out image too. And then we can drag this out. And then, for example, move this from left to right. As you can see, this already looks really nice if we drag these keyframes out. Now, what you can do is also have a cloud here, for example, so it moves through layers of clouds. So, for example, we can even import the same cloud again. Press R for rotation, maybe rotate it a bit. And then again, link this to our zoomed out image. And then again, set a P for position. So we can basically move this a bit. We can drag this keyframe out and then maybe move it a bit from the left. So there's a bit of movement in there. Then maybe another one here, maybe around here. Yeah, why not? Press P for position, drag this keyframe out, move it from left to right or something. And again, we can parent this to the zoomed out image so it will move with it. And then we already have this really cool animation with some clouds over it. Now I'm going to show you a quick trick to make these clouds look even better. Right click on your layer, go to layer styles, and we can add a drop shadow. Now this will look really ugly at the beginning, let's be honest, but we need to adjust it a bit. So change the distance first of all by really far. This will already make it look way more realistic. And then we can change the size. I'm going to turn that down to 0. And then I'm going to use the opacity to make it way softer. If you now change this to full quality, you will see that this already makes it look really cool. It looks like this shadow is really hitting the city. And now we can even Command C, Control C it. Go to the other cloud that we made, which is this one. Paste it on there. Go into the layer styles, drop shadow. And by the way, I pasted it by hitting Command V, Control V on Windows. And then we can change the angle because otherwise it won't be visible. And as you can see, that also gives this really cool effect. Now I'm going to create a cool navigation icon. So let's go to the ellipse tool, and you do this by clicking and holding your mouse down on the rectangle. Go to the ellipse. Then the fill I'm going to turn to a bright blue. The stroke I'm going to make white. Press OK. And I'm just going to drag a circle. And if you do this while holding shift, it will stay nice and round. Let's go to the selection tool and let's move this to here. I'm going to increase the stroke by a bit. And I'm also going to right click this and add a quick drop shadow to just make it a bit more visible. Layer styles, drop shadow. Now make sure that this drop shadow is not too harsh. Apple always has these soft shadows, right? So let's make this nice and soft and maybe even turn down the opacity a bit. Looks really, really clean. Maybe change the stroke to like 13 pixels. Very nice. Now, of course, we need to make sure that this is below the clouds. If the clouds maybe have a bit of influence over it, it's nice that it's below this. Now I'm going to go to the pen tool and then I'm going to make sure that nothing is selected. And I'm going to change the fill, and I'm going to click on the word fill. I'm going to change this to a linear gradient. Press OK. Click on the gradient, and then let's make it go from this color. So let's eye color pick it. Click on the other color, and let's change that to the same color. Now the difference is that in this one, I'm going to go to the opacity, and I'm going to set the opacity to 0. So we'll go from blue to transparent. Press OK. And now I can make this really cool shape. I'm just going to click here, click here, click here, and click here. That's perfect. Turn the stroke off. So click on stroke, click on none, press OK. Now let's go to the selection tool. You should be able to see this line with 2 dots. That's your gradient. So now we can align this gradient. So basically goes from really blue to transparent, something like this. Looks clean. Let's move this below our navigation dot, and let's zoom out a bit. And this already looks really nice. I'm going to parent this one to each other. And I'm going to also parent this. I'm going to parent our blue gradient to the navigation dot, and the navigation dot I'm going to link to our zoomed out image. So that's all linked to each other. And now what we can do, we can press P for position, set a keyframe. Let's move this a bit to at the beginning of the street, maybe something like this. And then we can drag this keyframe out. So basically it will keep moving while it zooms in. Ideally, we want to see it move when it's already visible. I think you can't really see it here, so maybe starting here. If you now quickly change this to quarter, we can preview this. That already looks really cool. Nice. We can even make it like rotate. So we can even easy ease this. So hit F9 on your keyboard, so it basically eases in. We can adjust this shape a bit. I'm not too happy with it. I think it needs to be a bit smaller. So let's go to the pen tool, this inwards a bit. And since this is linked to each other, we can even go to our navigation dot, press R for rotation, set a keyframe, and make it like look around a bit. I think it's nice. It makes it a bit more interactive, right? So it doesn't have to be much, but just like some movement. And now the most fun part, the alien. I thought this would be a funny idea. I have this alien PNG, which is like an alien top down. I use ChatGPT to generate this. If I go to full quality, you can see that it's actually not that bad at all. It looks quite nice in my opinion. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press R for rotation, hold Alt, click on the stopwatch, and then type in time times 20. And what this will do is basically have it rotate all the time, maybe even time times 40. Now, of course, we also want a big fat drop shadow on this. Let's right click, layer styles, drop shadow, add some distance to it. And I actually think normally it's nice to have a soft shadow or something, but in this case, it does add to the whole alien vibe. Let's increase the size a bit so it's not too harsh. Like you don't want it to be fully harsh. It's not really realistic. Maybe something in between, something like this. And I'm going to change the opacity to maybe like 40%. So we can still see what's happening here. I'm going to position it around here. Let's press P for position. I'm of course, again, going to link this one to the zoomed out image. And I'm going to go a bit more to the front. And basically I want this to happen quite late. I don't want this to be visible yet in the beginning. So let's drag this down a bit, and I'm going to go to the convert vertex tool. You do this by clicking on the pen tool and just holding your mouse down. And then we can make sure that this is a bit more basically curved. There we go. Let's select these keyframes, hit F9 on your keyboard, go into the graph editor. And I just want to make sure that this is really like east. So it zaps in and then it's gonna do something to it. Use a probe. No, okay. Maybe we want to have it that it comes in a bit earlier. I also don't want it to be visible already. We don't want to spoil the fun. So I also want to cut it off. And I do this by hitting Alt left bracket so you don't see it yet. Yeah, I want this to be a bit earlier. So maybe around here. And here it zaps it or should zap it. Now to zap it, I'm just going to go to the circle tool. Basically, I'm just going to draw a circle just like this, hold shift. And I want it to be somewhat the same size. And then let's go to the selection tool. And let's move this a bit. Cool. Now click on fill. Let's make this a solid color. And then I'm going to add some effects to this. I'm going to add a fast box blur first of all. So just a fast box blur should be fine. Repeat edge pixels, turn that off. Turn the blur on. And then I'm going to add a glow to this and turn the radius up a lot. Now let's move this under the alien. I'm going to scale this a bit. So skew it. Press R for rotation. I'm going to make the fill color maybe a bit less dark. something like this. That looks really, really dope. So let's press T for transparency. I'm just gonna basically fade it in. I do want to do that when it's almost here. So maybe turn this to 0. And we have to time this a bit, right? Basically, I want to make sure that once the thing is done with the position, it zaps it. And when it gets zapped, I want it to be sucked up, right? And to do so, I'm gonna add a quick directional blur to this. So just search for directional blur. Let's increase the blur length. I'm going to change the rotation a bit, set a keyframe for the blur length, press U on our keyboard. Let's drag this out, set this to 0. So there's no blur length first, then it gets zapped, and then we just move it in. Now I might change the order a bit. Let's see. Yeah, so we don't see it anymore. So I'm going to move the zap below our navigation dot so we can see it. That looks cool. And then the alien, I might also move below this, so it's below the clouds anyway. It was hiding below the clouds. Let's quickly preview this in quarter so you guys can see this. I mean, this looks awesome, right? And then once it's zapped, it's gonna fly away. We just want it to fly away. However, before we do that, I do want to cut off these layers. So this is the navigation icon, and I'm gonna hold Command or Control on Windows and select the other layer, which is the gradient. I'm gonna cut this off. Alt right bracket, and then let's go to the alien and let's make it zap away. I want it to stay a bit here. Let's copy this keyframe, paste it over. Now, of course, if we add motion blur to this, I think it will look awesome. That's really, really nice. Maybe we have to make sure that the flash will be fading out a bit earlier. Nice. Now, of course, I want to make it look a bit nicer than how it is now. So I'm also going to make it into a sort of like an Apple Maps. And to do so, I'm going to make it really easy for myself. I'm going to select all the layers that we just created by clicking on the first one and holding Shift and clicking on the last one. Hit Command-Shift-C or Control-Shift-C on Windows. And then we can call this map and hit OK. And now the cool thing is that we can just add a rounded rectangle to this. So let's go to the rounded rectangle tool by clicking and holding your mouse down on the shape tool. Make sure nothing is selected. I'm just going to draw a quick rounded rectangle, make it maybe something like this. And I'm going to use the track matte feature. So I'm going to drag that to the shape layer. So we already have this really cool composition. Now I do want to click on the shape and change the roundness to a bit of a lower amount. Now we can even go into the rectangle path and set a keyframe for the size. So we now drag this out and we unlink it. We set this to 0. And you should see something like this. Now we need to, of course, add some motion blur to this. And of course, easy eases. Hitting F9 on a keyboard and then going into the graph editor. Select the last keyframe and drag this out. So this is already a really cool animation. Now you might notice this weird drop shadow that we've got going on. And that's because of this drop shadow size. We can easily fix that by going into the map, selecting the layer that has this issue, this one in that case. And as you can see, the distance is set really high. I'm just going to go to the end. And here I actually like the distance to be this high. But at the beginning, I don't want it to be that high. So let's set it to maybe like 10 here, or maybe 40. And now we can turn back our background. So we already have a bit of a nicer composition. We could even add a soft drop shadow under this. But the last thing I want to do is add a cool navigation bar at the top. And to do so, I'm just going to go into the rectangle tool. And I'm just going to make sure nothing is selected. And the fill, I'm going to turn to a dark color, maybe something like this. Press OK. And I'm just going to drag this over this, maybe something like that. Then make sure to go to toggle switches mode. And I'm going to use the shape again as a track matte. As you can see, we have a nice nav bar. Now, of course, we want to make it a bit translucent. So press T for transparent. And let's just make it a bit more semi-transparent, something like this. And I'm also going to make it a bit more lighter gray. I think this is a bit too dark for my liking. I think this is nicer. Press OK. And now we can even add some text. So go to the text tool and type in Apple Maps. Select the text. We can make that white even, make that regular. I'm going to make it a bit more small, something like this. Go to the selection tool and let's align this to the center. And then you get something like this. And if you want to learn even more about Apple UI animation and get the project file, the link is in the description. You will get access to tons of advanced editing deep dives. You will also learn how to get results with your edits. You get access to the best editing community out there. So again, link is in the description. Do let me know what you thought of this video in the comments down below. Then of course, thanks for all your support. Don't forget to subscribe. And then I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.